Everyone remembers how terrifying Azula was, but no one talks about how terrifying it must have felt to be her.
My own mother thought I was a monster.
You were born with everything: talent, power, expectations. They called you gifted, a prodigy, the one who always got it right. And for a while, that felt good. Every perfect move, every flawless strike, every spark of lightning earned you another nod, another cold compliment. But even then, it didn't feel like love, because your father didn't love. He measured. And your mother? She looked at you like she was afraid. Afraid of what you were becoming. Or maybe of what she couldn't stop. So you learned fast. Don't be soft. Don't hesitate. Don't make mistakes. Perfection wasn't a goal, it was survival. And somewhere in all of it, the pressure, the praise, the fear, you started to believe it too. If I'm perfect, maybe they'll stay. You never really had friends, not real ones. People followed you because they were afraid not to. Ty Lee smiled. May stayed close, but deep down, you knew. They didn't stay because of who you were. They stayed because of what you could do. And that's how you learned to lead, not with trust, but with control. One threat, one warning, one reminder of who held the power.
I assure you, if you hesitate, I will not hesitate to bring you down.
It worked, at least for a while. Every move you made was calculated. Every person, a piece on the board. You saw weakness and hesitation, softness and mercy. You told yourself, if they fear me, they won't leave. Because that's what you feared most, being left. And so you held tighter, tighter than you even realized. At first, it worked. You were untouchable. The Earth Kingdom fell. Your father was proud. The world feared your name. But fear doesn't last forever. The people closest to you, the ones you thought you controlled, started slipping away. Mai chose Zuko. Ty Lee stood between you and your anger. And in that moment, something cracked. Not because they betrayed you, but because they weren't supposed to have that choice. You built your whole life on being stronger, smarter, better, but you couldn't control love. You couldn't bend loyalty like lightning, so you clamped down harder. More orders, more rules, more paranoia. If perfection had protected you before, maybe more of it could save you now. But it didn't. And little by little, you started losing control. You finally got the throne! Fire Lord, everything you were raised for. And still, you couldn't breathe. Voices started. The shadows followed. Everyone felt like a threat. Servants, guards, even the mirror. You banished anyone who looked at you wrong.
Hello, you're banished. Lee, you can stay.
Because now, even silence felt dangerous. You saw your mother's face where she wasn't, heard words that were never spoken.
I love you, Azula. I do.
I love you, Azula, but it didn't sound like comfort. It sounded like a lie. Your whole life, you believed control made you safe, but now nothing felt safe. Not even you. The girl who once planned every move couldn't even trust her own mind. Even after everything fell apart, you kept fighting, because that's all you ever knew. You tried to rebuild, chasing your mother, challenging your brother.
Settle this. Just you and me, brother. The showdown that was always meant to be. Agni Kai!
Looking for something, anything, that would tell you who you're supposed to be if not Fire Lord. You blamed them. Your mother for not loving you enough. Zuko for stealing what you thought was yours. But deep down, it wasn't about them. It was about you. About the part of you that never learned how to live without control. You told yourself, if I can't have the throne, I'll still prove I'm stronger. And for a while, you did. You fought. You plotted. You survived. But no matter how many battles you won, you couldn't outrun that question. If I'm not perfect, who am I? And you never found an answer. You were a child when they taught you that love had conditions. Be perfect. Be strong. Be useful. Then maybe you'll be enough. And for years, you believed it. You made yourself sharp, precise, untouchable. But what they never told you was what happens when perfect isn't possible anymore. You lost friends. You lost your father's approval. You lost yourself. And the worst part, even now, after all the fighting, after all the breakdowns, after all the years, a part of you still wonders, if I let someone see who I really am, will they still stay?